On Global TV News Prime, governors lobby Tinubu to block LG direct payments. In business, CBN deputy governors seek financial inclusion for women. On the foreign scene, Trump set to ease steel and aluminium tariffs. And in sports, Eagles arrive Kigali camp ahead of Rwanda clash. Hello and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to News Prime on Global Television, coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Godwin Sunday. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and StarTimes channel 276. You can download the Global TV Nigerian mobile app for Android and iOS devices to keep track of our broadcasts. And now to the news in details. The Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Olufemi Oluyede, has urged troops of the Nigerian Army to make the country safer and more secure to ensure the safety and well-being of all Nigerians. Oluyede gave the charge while addressing the troops at the parade ground during his maiden operational visit to the 12th Brigade Nigerian Army in Lokoja. He commended the troops for their good job and sacrifice in maintaining national security, defending the country's sovereignty and upholding its interests. Former President Olusegun Obasanjo has criticized the 70,000 naira new minimum wage approved for workers by President Bola Tinubu, describing it as grossly inadequate to cover workers' basic needs, including transportation, food and housing. The former president accused labor leaders of betraying workers by prioritizing personal interests over collective welfare. The Trade Union Congress has backed a Lagos-based National Youth Service Corps member, Ushi Ogomaye, also known as Arayi, who claimed to have received threats for criticizing President Bola Tinubu's administration. TUC President Festus Osifo says that the core member spoke out of frustration, advising the government not to go after her but to be tolerant of critics. The TUC boss, however, advised critics to always criticize the government within the expected norm and with some form of decorum. The federal government has reaffirmed commitment to reduce increasing housing deficits in Nigeria through public-private partnership. The Minister of Housing and Urban Development, Ahmed Musa Dangiwa, said this in Abuja at the Renewed Hope Housing Public-Private Partnership Summit. Godwin Sunday has the details. Nigeria faces a significant housing deficit estimated at 28 million units, requiring an investment of 21 trillion naira. The Minister of Housing and Urban Development, Ahmed Musa Dangiwa, before the signing of the Memorandum of Understanding with representatives and stakeholders of public-private partnership, says the partnership will work to break the gap of over 20 million units. He added that the nation needs to deliver 500,000 housing units annually for the next 10 years at an annual cost of 10 million naira per unit, which requires an annual requirement of 5 trillion naira.
So pending the finalization of this data, we are working with an estimated housing deficit of over 20 million units. To bridge this gap and meet the rising demand, we need to deliver 500,000 houses units annually over the next decade.
Senator Aminu Tambuwa, Chairman, Senate Committee on Land, Housing and Urban Development, says well-structured housing public-private partnership will unlock sustained financial models as well as deploying cutting-edge technologies and implementing scalable solutions that will cater for the huge housing needs. He reiterated the National Assembly commitment in supporting progressive policies that will foster sustainable development in the housing sector.
Through well-structured PPPs, we can unlock sustained financial models, deploy cutting-edge technologies, and implement
scalable solutions that cater to the diverse housing needs of Nigerians.
Convener Dr. Olayemi Sodimu Rotimi opening remarks highlighted the essence of the summit to foster collaboration among stakeholders, showcase innovative technology and best practices amongst others. Godwin Sunday for Global Television News. State governors have launched a fresh push against the planned disbursement of federal allocation to the local government councils in a renewed bid to delay the implementation of the Supreme Court verdict on local government autonomy of the governors. During a meeting with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu at the State House, governors kicked against payment of the local government allocation through the Central Bank of Nigeria, citing the need to address the multi-billion-dollar debt allegedly incurred by the councils. Presidency officials said the governors used the opportunity of the Iftar dinner to lobby the president and renew negotiations on direct allocations to the councils, which has suffered delays. The Rivers State House of Assembly has issued a notice accusing the state governor Siminalayi Fubara and his deputy Ngozi Odu of alleged misconduct. The lawmakers justified their action based on the Nigerian constitution. Meanwhile, the Rivers State government has expressed concern over a bleak future for its people, citing the uncooperative stance of the Martins Amawule-led Rivers State House of Assembly. A federal high court sitting in Lagos ordered the arraignment of former chairman of First Bank of Nigeria PLC, Oba Otudeko, and its former managing director, BC Onasoya, over an alleged 12.3 billion naira fraud. Delivering the ruling, Justice Anneke held that it is settled principle of law that a defendant's plea must be taken before any application can be considered. The Lagos State government has warned that the state will experience above normal rainfall in 2025, with potential flash floods in some areas that could disrupt commercial activities, pose risks to lives and properties, and cause flight delays. The Commissioner for Environment and Water Resources, Tokunbo Wahab, disclosed this in a statement on his official X account. According to Wahab, the Nigerian Meteorological Agency, NIMET, has forecasted an early onset of the raining season beginning in the last week of March, with the season expected to extend until early December. The Nigerian Senate has dismissed allegations by suspended Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan regarding the planned arrest upon her return from the Inter-Parliament Union event in New York. Senate spokesman Adeyemi Aderamodu, in a press statement, says President of the Senate Godswill Akpabio and the Senate have no reason to engage with Akpoti-Uduaghan on the matter. The Nigerian Center for Disease Control and Prevention, NCDC, says 1,319 deaths have been recorded in the country's ongoing diphtheria outbreak. The NCDC made this known in its latest situation report from the National Diphtheria Emergency Operations Center, published via its official website. Diphtheria is a serious bacterial infection, and just that every person should know. The National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, has uncovered a fraudulent syndicate impersonating the agency to scam foreign companies using fake documents. The agency announced the discovery in a statement by Professor Mojisola Christiana Adeyeye, FAS, its Director General, following a petition from Tani Amani Trading Group, Abu Dhabi, UAE, which fell victim to the scam. It was revealed that the syndicate is being led by one Ikoro Mag Ifendu, who was arrested on February the 7th, 2025 in Aba, the Abia state capital, for allegedly defrauding foreign firms by posing as a NAFDAC official. You are watching the live broadcast of News Prime. When News Prime returns, state governors have outlined ambitious plans to boost capital expenditure. Details coming shortly, plus business and sports stories on the other side of this break. Please stay with us.
Do you know that Global Television can be watched in Nigeria and all over the world?
Download the Global TV Nigerian mobile app for Android and iOS devices to watch Global Television real-time from around the world. What are you waiting for?
Start downloading and stay connected to Global Television.
In business, state governors have outlined ambitious plans to boost capital expenditure in states to address the infrastructural deficit in their various domains. The governors have earmarked 17.51 trillion naira to fund capital projects in their 2025 budget. They had earmarked 11.34 trillion to fund similar projects in 2024, but could not secure sufficient fund as the state recorded a deficit of 3.98 trillion naira last year. This indicates that the subnational plans to spend 28.85 trillion naira on infrastructure upgrades to boost economic development in 2 years following the improved revenue allocations from the federal government. Nigeria's inflation fell to 23.2% in February, the second consecutive drop after National Bureau of Statistics (NBS) changed its methodology. Annual consumer price rose 23.2% in February from 24.5% in January, according to data by NBS in an email on Monday. Last month, the National Bureau of Statistics (NBS) released the rebased Consumer Price Index (CPI) data of 24.48% from 34.8%. Ghana's former president, John Mahama, has highlighted Solana as a key player in driving fintech growth and cryptocurrency adoption in Africa. He emphasized Solana's low transaction costs as a catalyst for financial inclusion across the continent. Mahama stated that financial inclusion isn't just a need for Ghana, it is essential for all Africans. With its low transaction costs, Solana could drive fintech growth and enable cryptocurrency payment and investments. The Asset Management Corporation of Nigeria says it has recovered over 2.1 trillion naira in debt despite its challenges since inception. It also stated that the corporation currently has over 2,000 cases in court, as some of AMCON's debtors owe nearly 5 trillion naira, adding that the debtors who borrowed these monies do not use it for the purpose for which the money was borrowed. This was disclosed in Lagos during a press conference by the agency head of corporate communication, Jude Nwauzo. The Deputy Governor, Corporate Services of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Emem Usoro, has called for the inclusion of women and other underdeserved groups in the financial economy. Usoro made this call during a presentation titled Accelerating Women's Financial Inclusion, Unlocking Opportunities for Growth and Investment at Citibank's inaugural Women Central Banking event held in London, United Kingdom, in commemoration of this year's International Women's Day. During a presentation, Usoro reiterated the Apex Bank's commitment to driving bold, data-driven policy that accelerates access to finance, drive investment, and foster a more inclusive, dynamic economy. The Dangote Oil Refinery has commenced the start-up of a polypropylene facility in Lagos and the polypropylene facility. In a statement by the group, the polypropylene facility will be officially unveiled soon. The starting up of Dangote's 830,000 metric tons per year polypropylene site was one of the last outstanding milestones for the oil refining and petrochemical complex in its commissioning sequence, which has been taking place since January 2024. On the foreign scene, U.S. President Donald Trump says he had no intention to ease steel and aluminum tariff as Washington urges towards an all-out trade war with major partners. Since January, Trump has imposed levies on multiple trading partners and imports, including steel and aluminum, rolling financial markets and fanning fears that his plans could tip the world's biggest economy into a recession. The president told reporters aboard Air Force One he did not plan to make exceptions to the tariff, saying, "No, I have no intentions of that," end of quote. Kurdish-led forces that control large swaths of northern Syria says 9 people from the same family were killed Sunday night in a bombing it blamed on Turkey. A Turkish occupation aircraft bombed a farming family south of Kobani in the late hours of Sunday night, the Syrian Democratic Forces said in a statement. In addition to the 9 members of the Othman Abdul family killed in the strikes, the SDF said 2 wounded relatives were taken to hospital. Most of the victims were children, according to graphics photos of the aftermath that the SDF posted to Telegraph. 21-year-old Sebastian from Loreton, Long Island, has become the first person in New York State to be cured of sickle cell anemia using the innovative Lyfgenia gene therapy. This pioneering treatment, administered at Cohen Children's Medical Center, offers a beacon of hope for countless individuals. President Donald Trump's administration has begun mass layoff at Voice of America and U.S.-funded media, making clear its intent to gut outlets long seen as critical for U.S. influence. Just a day after all employees were put on leave, staff working on a contractual basis received an email notifying them that they were terminated at the end of March. In sports, Nigerians' preparations for the 2026 World Cup qualifier against Rwanda are underway as key players arrive in Kigali. Super Eagles star Victor Osimhen, alongside Bruno Onyemaechi, Papa Daniel Mustafa and Kayode Bankole were the first to land in Rwanda, kicking off the team's building up for Friday's crucial match. Nigeria will play host to 5 other African countries: Kenya, Uganda, Namibia, Tanzania and Sierra Leone from March 26 to April the 6th as the 6 countries vie for African sole ticket to the 2026 ICC Under 19 Men's T20 World Cup, which will be held in Zimbabwe and Namibia. The Tafawa Balewa Square Cricket Oval and the University of Lagos Cricket Oval will host the round-robin matches between the countries as both grounds have been optimized and certified ready for the regional tournament. Nigerians Junior Yellow Greens and their 5 opponents will compete for the Continental Road ticket to the World Cup. As Global Television News Prime comes to an end, let's take a look at the top stories. State governors have launched a fresh push against the planned disbursement of federal allocation to the local government councils in a renewed bid to delay the implementation of the Supreme Court verdict on local government autonomy of the governors. In business, the Deputy Governor, Corporate Services of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Emem Usoro, has called for the inclusion of women and other undeserved groups in the financial sector. On the foreign scene, U.S. President Donald Trump says he had no intention to ease steel and aluminum tariff as Washington edges towards an all-out trade war with major partners. And in sports, Super Eagles star Victor Osimhen alongside Bruno Onyemaechi, Papa Daniel Mustafa and Kayode Bankole were the first to land in Rwanda, kicking off the team's build-up for Friday's crucial match. That's it on Global TV News Prime. Kindly follow us across all our social media platforms now showing on your screen using @Global TV NG. You can download the Global TV Nigerian mobile app for Android and iOS devices to keep track of our broadcasts. I am Godwin Sunday. Thank you for watching.